What's going on? Legion Rudy here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Daily Gaming XP Grind, episode 74. So what we're actually going to be working on today, let's make sure our inventory is empty, is I want to work on rune crafting. And I actually don't see any rune crafting potions. So we're going to have to try to remember here, which I don't, what we're going to need to make some. I can't believe we used them all, but now that I recall we did. So we're going to need some coarse animal fur to make this happen. So let's go ahead into our storage warehouse where we have all of our coarse animal coarse animal fur. So many different items in the game, you sort of start to forget certain names of things. So it looks like it's also about to be nighttime. I really don't like to do this at night, but it looks like we'll sort of cut into nighttime. So once we actually do, we can come back and go to sleep. I think 2 potions are actually going to do great for us, and then we can come back and then go to sleep. That way we can do this in the daytime. Looks like our pickaxe is in good shape, so we really won't have to worry about that. And the reason we're going to work on rune crafting in this episode is I thought it would be nice to sort of take a break from cooking. We've been spending quite a bit of time working on it, and it's just sort of nice to get a little bit of a break. But obviously we're going to be getting quite a bit of rune crafting XP. We're actually going to be hitting the areas in the Storm-Touched Highlands that we've been sort of leaving for a very long time, and now there's a gigantic amount of rune essence that we're going to be able to mine there. So I think that's going to be quite good. So this is probably going to be not necessarily 2 parts, but we're probably not going to turn all this into runes in this episode. And the reason for that is because basically by the time we've collected all this rune essence, I mean, we're going to have spent quite a bit of time just collecting. It's just, there's no way around it. It's just sort of how it is. But I think in the future, as you level up your mining, once they increase the actual skill cap, I think you'll have a better chance of not having to hit these things twice, which will actually be quite nice because obviously when you're doing this in larger amounts, which obviously I don't know that they ever thought that that's something that people would really do. I don't think that they thought potentially people would save up large amounts and then sort of just gather them all at once. But I think that realistically, in a survival game, this is a little bit different. I haven't really played a lot of survival games, but I'm not sure how many allow you to do this sort of thing. It's a very unique thing from, I mean, like, I would have to imagine where you could sort of just shoot something down and all these things regrow and sort of respawn. I don't think it quite works that way in a lot of other games, but I guess I really don't have that information to say, so I'm not 100% sure if that's actually, in fact, correct. But we are on our way now to start leveling up rune crafting just by simply mining it. But eventually we will start turning these into runes. It's just going to take a really long time to actually gather them all. I really don't want to pick up that stone, so hopefully we don't, because obviously that's just going to take up space and then we have to leave it on the ground. I really don't like leaving things on the ground that I don't have to. It's just not really my favorite thing to do. So let's go ahead and see if we can hit this rock, because apparently we are having a technical difficulty just doing something really basic. So anyway, let's go this way. I accidentally picked up some berries. Let's see. So we've obviously got quite a bit of ground to cover. And the reason we've got these big stockpiles, if you haven't already watched some other episodes, is you sort of just shoot them on the ground and then leave them. And the reason for this is so you can blast them in huge chunks, which obviously saves quite a bit of time, and then just sort of allows you to shoot them down and then come back and get them in bulk rather than have to come over here and get them one by one. I usually use range to do this. I find this the most efficient and fastest way. But we've got these quite nice large piles, and also if you notice in the distance, we've cut most of the trees down in the game. And if you don't want them to respond, if you're noticing this, you just have to cut the root. And originally I didn't do that with some of the trees I was, but ultimately it didn't really make sense to do that because you really don't get a lot of XP for cutting roots. So I wasn't really focusing on that a lot in the very beginning, and then now I sort of am. So we've got 6 seconds, so I think we're just going to wait rather than swing our pickaxe a bunch of times. I think that would sort of waste a bit of time. So we are going to do this. We've got 90 seconds on our potion, and it looks like it's about to be nighttime. So I think that really worked out for us. So we are going to go ahead and go to sleep. and then that will give us an opportunity to basically do this in the daytime, which is definitely when we prefer to do it. Uh, it just makes it a lot easier because there's a lot of different things that are going to be happening and potentially creatures that wouldn't be there that are going to make it a little bit more difficult to collect all this. So we don't really want to deal with that. It's just unnecessary and it's not really something I want to do. So let's make sure we pop another rune crafting potion because we did go to sleep, and obviously we don't want to not get the XP extra, even though it's not an insane amount of XP that's going to be extra that's given. Ultimately, we've got so much that we're mining. You don't want to miss out on that. Prior to this, when I first started working on rune crafting in the game, I didn't really heavily focus on making sure that I had potions active. So a lot of my XP that you see that I've got in any of the updates that I've given, that's all pretty much just raw XP. I really didn't focus on using potions too much until I started really, really just going crazy on the XP. But you can see how fast we're gathering this rune essence because of the way we've done it. I'm pretty sure that we've already got level 99 in rune crafting. I'm not entirely sure. Uh, because obviously we've stated many times that I don't think they want the game to just sort of be over so quickly. They obviously want to sort of add a replay value. So I'm thinking 1,000,000 XP in rune crafting should be enough. But obviously I do not have any information to back this up, as I don't think have really released any information on this matter. So everything's just going to be sort of, it's going to be told as it comes to the game. So we just got to really wait and see what's going to happen. But obviously, they might not even know currently how much XP is going to be required. And as they add new trees to the game and things like that, then they can sort of adjust it to make it the way they want. I think it would be really hard at this current point in the game to sort of make decisions like that without really knowing. Because obviously, with certain things giving certain amounts of XP, you want to make it relative to sort of make sense. And it's interesting too because I'm doing everything at the very lowest level currently that there is in the game. So obviously things are going to get easier probably in regards to certain things, but maybe not necessarily other things. Because I've talked quite a bit about how potentially if you've decided to wait to work on a lot of these skills, I wouldn't necessarily it's going to say it's going to get easier. You are going to get more XP for different things that you do in the game, but you also have to understand there's going to be creatures and monsters and animals, all sorts of different things, and basically the different, I guess, what is it? Sort of survival things they're going to have in the game, where they talked about how certain areas of the game that they're going to be introducing are going to have heat exhaustion, so you've got to find shade. So I really think that that's where it's going to come into the game and be a lot more tricky. So obviously, it's going to slow down your XP progression. I think drastically, especially if you have to find shade every so often or have to have a drink active. If it's just a drink, it's probably not going to make a huge difference. But I do still think that things like creatures or potentially like, especially when you're starting to talk about adamant and like runite ore, I think that's going to be really different. I think it's going to be a lot tougher. I think they're going to have some pretty powerful creatures around it. There's 2 more runescent stones down there. I really don't want to go get them. I feel like that's a really long way to go to just grab 2 rune essence. I don't think it really makes sense. Well, even though there's a couple inside, I don't think it is really worth it. So we got this ready again. So as you can see, this is actually really fast to get the essence, obviously. And all you really want to do is basically while you're playing the game, have a bunch of lone stones set around and then basically shoot them down and then get back to whatever you were doing in the game. And I think this is a great way to do it. So obviously it depends on you really, but we don't have an insane amount of lodestones. I mean, we do. It looks like we do, but we could have a lot more. The reason we don't is basically because I feel like it's already such a journey just to gather the ones that we have placed the lodestone at. We don't want to make it to the point where it's no longer, I guess, enjoyable to do it. I feel like if you put too many, it feels like too much of a grind and too much. So we really want to keep it where we're not going to basically hate it as we're doing it. We want it to still be enjoyable. So this is going to be interesting because we've got this rolling rock of essence. Thank goodness it stopped. But basically, we're going to go ahead and grab that one. And then we're going to go to the next area, which I think, yes, we did not get this one yet, but ultimately it's quite crazy. I really like how you can shoot them down and then come back for them later. Uh, if you were playing the old RuneScape, there was really not a way to do something like this. And this it's not really that. I mean, I really think it's a lot faster to do it this way. And it doesn't mean that it is. It just means it's how I do it, and I think it is faster. How much faster? It's really hard to say. I don't know, but I know that it works for me, and I quite enjoy it like this. It just seems a lot funner. We're just going to drop a couple of things. I hate dropping things on the ground like that, but ultimately they're taking up weight in our inventory, and it's just less time between having to bank, which is obviously something we don't want to have to do all the time, just because it's too much. This is unfortunate how they sort of fall in the water. I feel like it slows us down a little bit, but it's really not the end of the world. You can see we sort of missed this one, I think, more so rather than other ones. There's really not as much rune essence on the ground here, but and these things are probably going to respawn rather soon too, I believe. But so much rune essence, it's actually wild. We've got a lot of junk here in our inventory, so we might actually bank after this one right here, just because some of that stuff I don't really want to throw on the ground. I feel like it's really useful. So either way, it's okay. We have to sort of bank anyway. Our inventory is getting full, so it's not like it's something we're doing out of the ordinary here. I think it's going to be really important. We're going to hit these two next. We don't want to forget them, and I think the ones by our base as well, we really haven't hit. So let's see if we could find an empty chest. I think we're going to have to use one of these food ones, because honestly, I think we're too loaded up in all of our other chests with stuff that we sort of haven't really uh, taken care of, because we've been doing so much other stuff. So, okay, let's go. And we're going to hit these really quick. And I think this should be ready. But before we do that, our rune crafting potion sort of went off there. We don't want to lose that XP. But you can see how long this takes, really, to mine all these. It takes quite a bit of time. So, obviously, that's why we're going to probably have to do like a two-part thing with this. I don't really want to make just the collecting a two-part thing. But we may go in that direction. I'm not 100% sure, because it just takes such a quite a large amount of time. And then maybe in the second one, we just do a couple, and then we start turning everything into runes. But when we're done with this, I think we're going to go basically all the way to the Storm-Touched Islands, and maybe let's just have to wait and see where we're at with time. But ultimately, I don't want to be too ridiculous here. We will do an XP update though once we're all done collecting what we're going to collect in this video, and then sort of show you all the rune essence that we did happen to get. But obviously, this is just it right here. It's basically our daily gaming XP grind, where we spend this crazy amount of time just getting ready and preparing ourselves for Fell Hollow, and potentially a little bit for range, but not so much, because range is sort of its own unique thing. It's just going to be a new combat style. But obviously we're preparing for Fell Hollow and all the new cool things that are going to be coming to the game, and then we're going to be able to really enjoy those, I think, on a much deeper level, rather than have to farm and hunt down resources to be able to partake in a lot of the different things coming to the game. We're sort of just going to be able to get it going and really immerse ourselves into that content. So it looks like we should have potentially saved the blast for this side, but these are all sort of really bunched up together, so it's not really that big of a deal. But really excited about Fell Hollow. But I mean, Fell Hollow is so far. It's ridiculous. December. And they haven't, I don't think they've exactly given a date in September. So I think that it's just going to be like a sort of wait and see. But in the meantime, we've got range coming on September 9th, which actually isn't even that far away. It's so exciting. And hopefully they've got some other cool things they haven't told us about. I think I spoke on that a little bit. I don't really think they've hidden much from us, which is kind of unfortunate, because I feel like it would be really cool if they didn't sort of give us an entire roadmap. I know they're trying to get people interested in it, but I think surprises are also really cool as well. I think that sort of leaves the idea in your head that what's going to come next and what might it look like and things like that, rather than just sort of tell us everything. I think that it's kind of cool to sort of not know. Uh, but I don't really think they're going to give us any new creatures in the range update. I've talked about this quite a bit already, but I feel like you can't just add monsters to the game just for the reason of adding them, because I feel like each new thing you add to the game has to sort of have a purpose other than just the fact of killing something new, and we really want to basically have a reason to have those resources into the game. I think that you just it all has to make sense, and not just from an aspect of for something new to kill. But I potentially think that they could add something that could help set up Fell Hollow. I think that that could be something really cool that they do. But I really don't think it's going to happen. I think the developers are working really hard on trying to make sure that the updates all set and ready to go and things like that. It's going to be really sort of nerve-wracking, actually, once Fell Hollow, the actual date gets announced. And then also potential XP reset. I know they said they were going to do everything in their power not to do it. And at this current point in time, I've got no idea whether or not they're going to do that. If they did, it would be heartbreaking. Basically, all the work that I've done in the game, basically any work that anybody's done in the game, whether it's really cool buildings, things like that, I mean, everybody would lose it. And I think realistically, if they did it, it's kind of wrong to have a game out for 9 months and then take everything away. And it is early access, I believe, still. But at the same time, I don't really expect that you could think people would want to go reinvest all that time back into the game. I think a lot of people would actually, in fact, quit the game because I just I mean, like the only reason you would say that you potentially have to do an XP reset is because they came out with an update, and then you'd have to ask yourself, does that mean every time they come out with an update, you're going to be resetting XP? And so I think that's a really, really big problem. And I don't know that people would even feel comfortable investing time, because each time a new update comes out, you would have to essentially re-get all your gear and all those things. So I'm going to see if I can kill this guy, but unfortunately, I don't know. We actually killed him really fast. I'm not even sure why or how. But basically, back to what I was saying, you cannot expect people to regrind all their gear every single time you come out with an update. And then if you did it the first time, but not the next time, what's your excuse then? Oh, we found a way to not do it. Well, you've basically had how many months to figure it out? So if they did decide to reset the XP, it would just make absolutely no sense. So I think they don't want to lose players, and I think it would result in that for sure. So I think they definitely are going to be careful about how they do that. But anyway, hopefully that's not the case. Don't think it will be. They'll lose a really large player base from doing something like that when there's so many other games that people can be playing and basically getting sort of, I don't want to say punished, but basically by playing the game when there was not that much content, that you sort of getting punished basically for doing that. And if anything, we really have helped the game sort of with helping them fix it and mold it the way that people potentially want it to be. We are sort of the testers at this point, current stage in the game. So if you do that, it's actually really not a cool thing to do. But we'll have to wait and see. So it's all speculation right now and just sort of throwing ideas around. We're gonna grab this. I don't know why it's so far away, and but basically we're really close to calling it right now. I want to make sure that the next episode we're obviously focusing on working on rune crafting as well. Still taking a little bit of a break from cooking, but obviously there's still quite a bit to mine that's still to go. So I want to make sure that we can get both done, both whole parts of the project done in these 2 episodes. What is this? It looks like it's a rock, but it also looks like it's a gigantic claw. I don't think I've ever quite noticed that. So I'm going to take a look at that really quick, actually. It's a little bit weird. It's a skull. It's the back of a skull. Okay. So let's go here. So it looks like they're all respawning as well, which I kind of figured that would happen. It's crazy how many sheep and ram are here. You have got no idea how hard it is to not just start slaying all of them. It's so much cooking resources, but I understand that I can't always do that. That's going to be the crazy thing when Valhalla comes to the game as well. Seeing all this new stuff in the game and being torn inside about basically not being able to get it all at once. So before I do stop, I think I'm going to get this one, and then this is going to be it right here. And we're going to go back and do an XP update, show you all the rune essence that we got, and then from there, obviously in the next episode, we are going to grab the rest of the rune essence. There's quite a bit actually, so it's not like it's not going to be a really big deal. It's actually going to be quite a big deal. But let's go ahead and let that recharge and then hit this. If I could aim for the life of me, we're going to grab this one really quick. And then we have to go hit one more spot. And then we're going to go back, show you all of our essence, and then do an XP update, and then send you guys on your way. If we could just get this. There we go. So let's go. I believe it's here. It's already nighttime too. These ones didn't respond. I thought they did, so we don't have to worry about it. So I know there's a ton over there as well, but we're not going to worry about that. So let's go ahead and go in here. So it looks like we've got a full chest full here. And then let's see. The top one should be, it's not empty. So that's all raw food that we've got sort of waiting to use. Let's see if we've got another chest. I don't really want to put it in with the food. Let's see. I don't really have an area, I don't think, that I can place this. Because I'm so disorganized. Let's see. I guess I'm going to have to build one. Because clearly I don't do enough housekeeping. So let's see. Logs. These are logs. All these are logs. So let's just go ahead and put these in here. Build 2 of these really quick. Do an XP update. What happened? You need 10 just to build one. I didn't realize. That's crazy. Oops. Wrong chest. Why are these up here? I must have accidentally been clicking on the wrong thing. There we go. And that should be good. Actually, it's not really good, but I think it will be because we're going to be turning those into runes the next episode, so it'll be okay. Let's drop all this in. So basically, we got a chest and a little bit more than a half. And then let's go ahead and do our XP update really quick. So we've got 305,000 attack XP. We've got 1,001,000 woodcutting XP, constructions 2,009,000 XP, runecrafting 594,823 XP. So we're so close to 600,000, which is such an accomplishment. Magic 94,608, mining 4,096,000, artisan 4,094,000, and cooking 248,000. So that's pretty much going to do it for us right now. And we hope you guys are enjoying our content and hope you guys are enjoying your time in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And until next time, Legion Luda out.